Have you ever stopped to think that the way you talk during a doctor's visit could actually affect the care you get? Many seniors don't realize it, but the way you communicate in an appointment can make a real difference. I'm not referring to knowing complex medical terminology or every tiny detail of your medical history. What I mean are the everyday habits in conversation that can subtly work against you. The reality is that the words you choose, the tone you use, and how clearly you share your concerns can shape the quality of your care. And here's the part most people miss. Doctors can only act on the information you provide. If what you share isn't clear, complete, or straightforward, even the most skilled physician could overlook something important. This isn't about blaming yourself or thinking you're doing something wrong. Many older adults develop these conversational habits without realizing it, often from a lifetime of trying to be polite, not wanting to complain, or assuming certain issues are just normal for aging. But when it comes to your health, those small patterns can carry big consequences. You might miss out on treatment options, delay a crucial diagnosis, or leave an appointment confused about your next steps. In this video, we're going to cover the 5 ways older adults sometimes unintentionally speak at the doctor's office that can hurt their care. You may not even realize you're doing some of them. We'll look at what these habits look like, why they happen, and most importantly, what you can do differently so your concerns are heard, respected, and addressed. Stick with me until the end, because the last one is a mistake even careful, thoughtful patients often make, and fixing it could change every future appointment you have. One of the most frequent mistakes I see seniors make is downplaying or brushing off their symptoms. It might sound like, it's nothing serious, just a little ache, or I don't want to make a fuss. You might think you're being polite or not wasting the doctor's time, but in reality, you're making it harder for them to help. Doctors rely on the details you provide to understand what's really happening. If you leave out information or make a symptom seem minor, you're essentially giving them an incomplete puzzle and expecting them to see the whole picture. For many older adults, this habit comes from years of putting others first, being tough, or not wanting to seem like a complainer. But here's the thing, what feels like a small discomfort might actually be an early warning sign of an issue that's much easier to manage if addressed quickly. The longer you wait, the harder it may be to resolve. I remember a conversation with my neighbor, Sylvia, who was 79 at the time. She had been feeling a constant tightness in her chest for weeks, but shrugged it off as just getting older. She mentioned it casually during a routine checkup, and only then did the doctor recognize it might be a heart problem. Further testing confirmed she needed immediate treatment. Later, Sylvia told me that if she had ignored it any longer, her health could have been in much greater danger. Her story is a strong reminder that what feels small to you can look very different to a trained professional. The best approach is to describe your symptoms exactly as they are, don't soften them to make them seem less serious. If you've had pain for 3 weeks, say 3 weeks. If your sleep has been disrupted, say exactly how often. If it's affecting your daily life, be honest about how. This isn't complaining, it's giving your doctor the information they need to do their job well. You're not asking for sympathy, you're providing the facts so your doctor can help you stay as healthy and independent as possible. When you speak openly, you're taking control of your health in a respectful and effective way. A good doctor will value your honesty and use it to guide your care. Remember, the appointment is your time. Don't waste it by hiding the truth about how you really feel. Another common habit that can cause problems during doctor visits is speaking in vague generalities instead of providing clear, specific details. Many seniors might say something like, "I just feel off," or "it hurts," without explaining exactly when, where, or how it happens. While these phrases might make sense to you, they leave your doctor guessing, and guessing in healthcare can be risky. The vaguer your description, the harder it is for your doctor to identify the underlying cause, which can delay or even misdirect diagnosis and treatment. One reason this happens is that we often don't keep track of our symptoms. By the time you finally make it to the appointment, everything has blended together, and you end up offering only a short, fuzzy explanation. Another reason is habit. Our everyday conversations with family or friends don't require precise language, so we naturally default to general statements. But a doctor needs precision. They need to know exactly when the symptom started, what triggers it, how severe it gets, and what makes it better or worse. Without those details, they're left reading between the lines, trying to piece together a puzzle with missing pieces. I'm reminded of my friend Leonard, who's 82 now. He once told his doctor, "I've been feeling weak lately, that was it." The doctor asked a few follow-up questions, but Leonard couldn't remember details like whether the weakness was stronger in the morning or evening, if it worsened after walking, or whether he had other symptoms. Because of this, the doctor didn't have enough information to work with. A few weeks later, as his weakness continued, further testing showed anemia that could have been addressed earlier. Leonard admitted afterward that if he had been more specific during that first visit, he might have avoided those extra weeks of exhaustion. The best way to prevent this mistake is to prepare ahead of time. Write down your symptoms, when they started, how they feel, and what affects them. If it's pain, describe it sharp, dull, burning, or throbbing. If it's fatigue, does it come after meals, in the morning, or only after physical activity? Providing this level of detail doesn't just help your doctor understand what's going on, it also speeds up the process of getting the right tests and treatments. Giving precise information isn't being difficult or overcomplicating things, it's equipping your doctor with a clear roadmap. Think of it like handing them a detailed map instead of a blurry sketch. When your health is at stake, clarity is one of your most powerful tools. If you're still watching and finding these tips useful, comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support allows us to continue creating content that informs and inspires. Now let's keep going. One of the biggest missed opportunities one sees at doctor's appointments is showing up without a written list of what you want to cover. You might think, I'll remember everything once I'm there, but the truth is, it's easy to forget half of what you plan to discuss. Maybe you get caught up talking about one main issue, or the doctor asks questions that steer the conversation in a different direction. Before you know it, the appointment is over and you're heading home, realizing you forgot to mention a couple of important concerns. This isn't about being forgetful. It happens to everyone, especially when appointments feel rushed or you're trying to recall details on the spot. But without a written list, you're essentially leaving your health to chance. Doctors aren't mind readers, and if a concern doesn't come up during the visit, they won't know to address it. I've seen friends leave appointments still worrying about the same issues they came in with, simply because they never got around to bringing them up. Take my friend Dorothy, for example. She went in to discuss her blood pressure medication, but she had also been experiencing trouble sleeping and occasional dizziness. By the time the visit ended, she realized she'd only talked about the medication. Weeks later, her dizziness worsened, and it turned out to be linked to her blood pressure management, something the doctor could have connected sooner if both concerns had been addressed at the same time. That delay cost her valuable time, energy, and extra trips back to the clinic. The solution is simple. Before your appointment, sit down and write down every concern you have, no matter how big or small. Number them in order of importance. When you arrive at the office, either hand the list to your doctor or keep it in front of you so nothing is overlooked. Even if you don't get through every item in one visit, at least your doctor will know what's on your mind and can help prioritize what needs attention first. Think of it like going grocery shopping without a list. You're almost guaranteed to leave something important behind. With a list, you take control, make the most of your time, and ensure every question, concern, or health change gets the attention it deserves. Another habit that can quietly hurt many older patients is assuming the doctor remembers every detail of your medical history. Even if you've been seeing the same physician for years, they often care for dozens of patients daily. They might remember the general outline of your health, but they won't have every lab result, past symptom, or medication adjustment stored in their head. When you assume they already know, you may skip over important updates, creating gaps in your care. I've seen this happen many times. My friend Harold went to his regular doctor complaining about joint pain. He assumed the doctor remembered his history with gout and didn't mention that he had started a new blood pressure medication a month earlier. That missing detail turned out to be critical. The new medication was contributing to his symptoms. What could have been resolved in minutes ended up taking weeks of extra tests to figure out. Medical records are helpful, but they don't tell the whole story. There may be notes from your last visit, but they might not reflect everything that's happened since then. Sometimes, a patient's file is so extensive that the doctor can't review every page before you walk in. Assuming they already know the latest details can leave out exactly the information they need to give you the best guidance. The best habit is to start each appointment with a quick, clear update. Mention any new medications, supplements, or lifestyle changes since your last visit. Include any new symptoms, even if you think they're unrelated to your main concern. A simple statement like, "Since my last visit, I started this new medication and noticed these changes," gives your doctor a stronger starting point. Think of it like catching up with an old friend. You wouldn't expect them to know what's happened in your life if you never told them. Your doctor is your partner in health, but that partnership works best when you keep them fully informed. The more complete the picture you provide, the faster they can connect the dots and guide you toward the right care. If you're still watching and finding these tips helpful, comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Your support allows us to keep creating valuable content that informs and inspires, so thank you for that. Now let's continue. When you finally sit down in the exam room, it can feel like your one chance to share everything that's been on your mind for weeks or even months. Many older adults, understandably, want to cover every detail, starting from years ago and including every ache, pain, or unusual feeling they've experienced. While this comes from a desire to be thorough, it can unintentionally overwhelm the conversation, eat up the limited time, and prevent the doctor from focusing on what truly matters right now. The reality is that appointments are often short, and doctors are trained to guide the conversation so they can gather the right information in the right order. When we fill the room with too many side stories or unrelated details, we unintentionally derail the visit. Think of it like a road trip where the GPS is trying to guide you to your destination, but you keep taking side roads to show all the interesting sights. You might never reach where you need to go. I remember my friend Beatrice, who is 78. She went in to discuss knee pain that was making walking uncomfortable. By the time she had told the doctor about her cousin's hip replacement, her gardening, and the weather changes she'd noticed last month, half the appointment was gone. There was barely any time left to examine her knee. She left with more questions than answers, not because the doctor didn't care, but simply because there wasn't enough time to cover everything. This doesn't mean you should hold back important information. It means letting the doctor lead with questions, so your answers are as relevant and helpful as possible. Bringing a short written list of your top concerns can help immensely. Hand it over at the start, so nothing gets forgotten, and the doctor can prioritize each issue efficiently. Another tip is to keep your explanations clear and concise at first. Give the main point, for example, "I have sharp pain in my right knee when I stand up after sitting," and then allow the doctor to ask for more details. This back and forth approach ensures that the most urgent matters are addressed while leaving room for follow-up questions. Speaking in a focused, cooperative way shows respect for your doctor's process and increases your chances of leaving with clear answers, practical solutions, and a plan you can follow. Remember, it's not about talking less, it's about talking in a way that works with your doctor's flow, not against it. The way we communicate at a doctor's appointment shapes the care we receive more than most of us realize. Words can open the door to better understanding or create confusion that slows progress. As we get older, the stakes feel higher. Our health concerns carry more weight, and every visit matters. That's why learning to speak with clarity, focus, and respect is such an important habit. It's not about becoming someone you're not or memorizing lines. It's about being intentional with the precious minutes you have in that room. Think of your voice as a bridge between what you feel and what your doctor can do to help. If that bridge is clear and sturdy, the path forward is easier to navigate together. If it's cluttered with unnecessary details, mixed signals, or frustration, progress slows. Small adjustments, like preparing your main points, letting the doctor guide the flow, and speaking honestly without fear, can make all the difference. I've known seniors who used to dread appointments because they felt unheard or misunderstood. I've also seen those same people transform their experiences simply by approaching conversations differently. When you leave an appointment confident that your concerns were understood and addressed, it brings peace of mind that lasts well beyond that one visit. So the next time you sit across from your doctor, remember, you're not just a patient, you're a partner in your own care. Your words, your tone, and your willingness to work together are powerful tools. Use them wisely, and you'll leave that room with more than instructions. You'll leave with trust, understanding, and hope for better days ahead. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below sharing one thing you learned and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts mean a lot to us, and reading your comments is a big source of motivation. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue producing valuable content that informs and inspires. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.